Mega Garchomp, and got the close combat for the Porygon 2, the Magneton. Flamethrower also hits Magneton though. Close combat hits Hitmonlee harder, and does more, like, it's my way of hitting Heatran as well. And it hits Garchomp harder, but I do have the Hidden Power Eyes for Garchomp as well, and the Togekiss. Like it does. Well, Flamethrower does a little bit more, and especially if I'm in Blaze range, which is a very likely scenario. And Flamethrower does more to Lunatone, I believe. But yeah, that's just about it for Infernape. Nice little Focus Sash lead potentially. Can just potentially, but most likely, if he brings the Mega Beedrill, I'm leading off with Garchomp. I mean, Donphan. But if he doesn't bring the Mega Beedrill, then I'll lead off with Hitmonlee. I mean, Infernape. What's wrong with me? Had the wrong intro. Now I'm getting the Pokemon mixed up. So Infernape's a pretty big threat to this team. He does have like ways to pivot around, but he has no like real hard counter outside of Slowking. So I do expect the Slowking to come. And that's basically it. I do expect the Slowking to come. So I build a team that can take on Slowking, and like, so I do have Hydreigon, so it's likely he does bring the Togekiss. I had the Clefable, and Mega Beedrill. Like, my team is Mega Beedrill. I wouldn't say it's Mega Beedrill food, but like I don't have necessarily a switch into it. That isn't like 3-hit KO'd or so. But yeah, like so if he brings the Mega Beedrill, I lead. I click Fake Out. With this max special attack, close combat or Flamethrower into Hidden Power Ice knocks out an offensive Garchomp. And yeah, I do have the Focus Sash so that if he does lead Garchomp, I can just click Hidden Power Ice, and if he is a Choice Scarf variant, then I will be brought down to my Sash, and then I can switch out. And if he is if I go first and he's a Focus Sash variant, then I will be able to 2-hit KO him regardless. So yeah, I do think Infernape's a pretty good bring this match. And if I do get brought down to my Focus Sash, then my ability Blaze will activate, and Flamethrower will be doing a lot more damage, which is pretty cool. Next up, we got a Choice Scarf Hydreigon with U-Turn, Dark Pulse, Dragon Pulse, and Tailwind. This is a pretty solid Pokemon versus his team. It does outpace quite a bit of things, and with the speed that I think he'll, be speed creeping with things like Sharpedo, Mega Beedrill, Togekiss, and other mons such as Hitmonlee and Magneton. I do think I have enough speed to outpace them with a Choice Scarf. And at the speeds I think they'll set at, and I 100% outspeed Mega Beedrill, even if it's max speed and whatnot. I outpace all other Choice Scarfers, I think. But yeah, I don't really expect, if he brings a Choice Scarf on, I would expect it to be Garchomp more than likely. Or he could try to catch me off guard with something like Choice Scarf Heatran or Choice Scarf Togekiss with the Air Slash. But I do have Bronzong and Zapdos, so like Choice Scarf Air Slashing Togekiss doesn't really make sense. So yeah, Dragon Pulse is really spammable versus his team once Togekiss goes down. Dark Pulse is really spammable versus his team in general once Togekiss is gone again. And until Togekiss is gone, then U-Turn is going to be spammed. Tailwind will also be pretty cool. Like, I could eventually, like, if it come down to it, and I just say the scenario came down where it was Hydreigon versus Mega Beedrill, and I know I don't kill with Dark Pulse or Dragon Pulse, and he would knock out my Hydreigon and then knock out my Infernape. I could set up a Tailwind instead with Choice Scarf Hydreigon, make sure that Infernape outspeeds as the Beedrill knocks out my Hydreigon, and then Infernape comes in, outspeeds, and knocks out the Mega Beedrill behind Tailwind. That would be pretty cool. Next up, we have a defensive, unaware Clefable. This is our check to Garchomp. Life Orb Garchomp blows through us anyway. Adamant Life Orb Garchomp blows through teams. This is going to be really hard to check, really. If he makes an offensive variant and tries to rip me, then he more than likely can do that. He does have Mega Beedrill, Heatran, and Magneton to pressure me as well. So that's a very likely, likely 3 or 4 mons that he could bring. I do have the Wish Protect, Moonblast, and Thunder Wave. Wish Protect, just so that I can throw off wishes to Donphan, which is, he's likely to switch in things like Heatran and Mega Beedrill into Clefable, where I can throw off a wish and then pass it into Donphan on such things like Heatran and Mega Beedrill, because I can spin Heatran's rocks away and get up my own rocks. I can also Earthquake Heatran, and I can come in on Mega Beedrill, and as you'll see, Donphan is my Beedrill check, so we'll get into that in a little bit. I have the Thunder Wave because if Mega Beedrill hard switches in on a Moonblast, and I can predict it later in the match, I could potentially catch it with a Thunder Wave, which would be pretty hype. Outside of that, though, there's not too much to say about Clefable. It's a nice, solid check to Garchomp, as well as being a check to, physically offensive Sharpedo, Hitmonlee as well. But yeah, next up we got Bronzong, which is going to be a Leftovers Heatproof variant because he has the Heatran. So I think Heatproof's pretty cool. Got the Earthquake to bop the Heatran, and Toxic to catch things like Togekiss, Garchomp, Slowking, Porygon 2, etc. Gyro Ball hits relatively hard versus everything else, and I got to Protect for like Leftovers and longevity and whatnot. Enough special defense investment to take on especially offensive Garchomp, Heatran, Togekiss, Decidueye, as long as it's, especially offensive without Shadow Ball, obviously. Slowking, Porygon 2, Magneton, but however, Magneton could be problematic if he's like a magnet or magnet pull set with something like Magnet Rise and potentially Substitute or something like that. Could be problematic. Hitmonlee and Lunatone. Hitmonlee could be a problem if it's physically offensive with knockoff and high jump kick or reckless high jump kick. Could be problematic. But we do have, like I said, Clefable, and we do have Zapdos as well, which is a substitute Roost, Discharge, Hidden Power, Ice Set. Mostly specially defensive with enough speed to outpace. I think what was that? Max speed, modest max speed Heatrans, I believe. That's what I'm setting at. Sub to bypass Toxics or potential burns, paralysis, or freezes from a potentially Tri-Attack and Porygon 2. Roost for longevity, Discharge, and Hidden Power Ice for general coverage versus his team. He does have a Garchomp, so Hidden Power Ice is pretty cool versus that. And Discharge hits literally everything else outside of, the only real wall he would have to this is like Magneton. But yeah, that's basically it. Next up, we got Donphan, which is going to be a Rocky Helmet variant this week to take on the Mega Beedrill. It can take hits from Hitmonlee. It can take... It doesn't necessarily like it, but it can take a Waterfall from Sharpedo, Leaf Blade from Decidueye. But yeah, mostly there for Mega Beedrill, but can take hits from Garchomp as well. Stealth Rock, just trying to get my rocks up myself. It punishes the Mega Beedrill, it punishes the Togekiss, forces Decidueye, Togekiss to defog, forces Hitmonlee to rapid spin, etc., etc. I do have knockoff to hit the Porygon 2 and the Slowking with, which are likely switch-ins to this thing, as well as Decidueye. And just generally gets rid of items, which is pretty cool versus his team. Potential Choice Scarfs, Focus Sashes, and potentially any kind of 4 times resistant berries, or resistant berries that would help like Garchomp or Heatran from a 4 times effective move, or and just pack the Earthquake for Heatran and Porygon 2 once the knockoff is gone, and the Magneton obviously doesn't appreciate earthquakes, and got the Protect to scout for like U-turn, Decidueye, Toxic from Heat Ran and stuff like that. All kinds of different scouting things, and can also scout for like say Reckless High Jump Kick Hitmonlee is rampaging through my team. I can bring Donphan in, and he probably wouldn't expect Protect on there, and I could maybe catch him off guard with that, which would be pretty cool. But yeah, that's going to be it, and we can go ahead and hop into the replay now. Alright, so here we are with the replay, and my opponent chooses to bring the Mega Beedrill, Magneton, Garchomp, Slowking, Sharpedo, and the Hitmonlee. No Heatran, no Togekiss, no Decidueye, no Slowking either, so Infernape. Oh, I said no Slowking after saying Slowking was there. No Porygon 2. Wow. Excuse me, guys, I need a break. And the Lunatone. None of that, so just the Mega Beedrill, Garchomp, Hitmonlee. Some huge physical threats. Magneton and Slowking, obviously going to be special, and then the Sharpedo could be mixed or either. It's really however my opponent decided to build, really. So yeah, I feel pretty comfortable. I have I have ways to just win this. Like I said, he brings no Togekiss, no Heatran, so Dragon Spam's actually pretty solid. And I do got Choice Scarf Hydreigon, which is pretty cool. Magneton gives problems to my Zapdos since I didn't actually bring Heat Wave, but that's about all I can think about right off the bat. He only has one Stealth Rocker and 2 means of removal, but has Toxic Spikes potentially on Mega Beedrill. His 2 means of removal also being Mega Beedrill and Hitmonlee. So yeah, let's go ahead and hop into the battle now. See what happens here. So I believe Donphan predicting his Beedrill lead. This gives me rocks, so that I can just get up my rocks and make sure that he's going to be taking some damage every turn. If he U-turns out here, he'll also take Rocky Helmet damage, which is pretty cool. And my opponent's going to go straight for the U-turn and gets a critical hit. A bit unfortunate, but it's Pokemon. Nothing we can do about it. I get my rocks up here, so a bit happy about that. And I go hard into Clefable here instead of protecting because I don't have leftovers. And Clefable's going to be able to check this thing pretty well as long as I don't get flinched. But I get flinched, so a bit unfortunate there. I would have been able to break the sub and force him to sub again or force him to switch out. But that's not going to be the case, so catching Mega Beedrill with a Thunder Wave isn't going to happen right now. However, I can just click Protect here. I am unaware, so if he's set up or anything like that, it wouldn't matter. And I can now throw off a Wish here, get some HP back, and put myself back in a range where I can't be 2-hit KO'd, and I can fire off an attack eventually. So he's getting some speed boost here, but it's not really going to matter in the long run. I can just click Wish Protect until he's beat down. And he was Life Orb. He revealed Life Orb, so he would have beat himself eventually. Here, I just click Protect to scout if he was, going to go for Flash Cannon or Volt Switch, and he goes for the Flash Cannon. This This is scary to me because I can go out into Donphan here and probably be 2-hit KO'd, or I can go into Bronzong, which I do pack Earthquake on, to take nothing from the Flash Cannon, take little from the Thunderbolt, and knock him out with the Earthquake. However, like I said in Team Prep, he could potentially be a Magnet Rise variant, or a sub variant, or a sub Magnet Rise variant, which would be problematic. He could be a Shika variant as well, but I don't want Clef to take damage. I need it for Hitmonlee, I need it for Garchomp, I need it for Sharpedo, I need it for a lot of things on this team, as you can see, and potentially even a Calm Mind Slowking. So yeah, definitely don't want this thing to go down yet. I'm going to hard switch out into Bronzong, as he actually goes for the Magnet Rise on the perfect turn, and he can't 3-hit KO me. But unfortunately, with the Magnet Rise, I can't even do damage to him. And he does get a critical hit, so he's actually going to be able to 3-hit KO me. And he gets back-to-back crits as well. But that's Pokemon. Here I go straight into Infernape, and I want to just click Flamethrower, because Flamethrower into Hidden Power Ice knocks out Garchomp, and if he goes into Slowking, then I just had to switch anyway, so it didn't really matter. I do knock out the Garchomp with the Hidden Power Ice. Had he been Sash, or had he been Yashi Berry or something, I was Sash on my Nape, so I would have lived any hit. And he gets the paralysis off on me, which is a bit unfortunate. Going for the Thunder Wave with the Slowking, but I do force him out, and he goes into his Magneton, where I actually double out into my Hydreigon and just click Dark Pulse now. Does a decent amount of damage to this, and I'm pretty comfortable with spamming Dark Pulse late game if Hitmonlee is weakened. So he brings in his Hitmonlee here. I knew that Rapid Spin was an option, but I just go hard into Clefable because it, covers every play and forces something to take massive damage from a Moonblast. Here I switch out to my Zapdos because Magneton can't really damage me, and I wanted to knock it out as fast as possible, and I wanted to try to keep Slowking and Mega Sharpedo off the field. He goes back into Hitmonlee and knocks off this time, as I do switch into my Clefable once again. He reveals Stone Edge, and I go for the Thunder Wave and miss. A bit unfortunate there, but just throw off a Wish here, get some health back. I can throw off an attack here, I can throw off a T-Wave here. I forgot what I actually did there, but I get paralyzed, so it doesn't really matter. Just throw off some Wishes some more, and force my opponent to attack, force my opponent to switch around and take chip damage, force my opponent to get paralyzed, and yeah, just Clefable is a problem to my opponent. He did have Magneton, but he took a Dark Pulse from Hydreigon. He took a little bit of damage from Bronzong's 4 or 5 Gyro Balls, and yeah, so Mega Beedrill having to come in on rocks and whatnot really puts Clefable in a solid position, as well as it does against his team. So here I don't really have any problem with just staying in and Thunder Waving everything basically, and just throwing off Wish, Protect, Thunder Wave, Moonblast. I'm not sure exactly what I went for on that turn, but I got poisoned again, or I got paralyzed again, so it doesn't matter. And here my opponent switches out, meaning he can only come into rocks one more time, and the turn after that he'll die. So once Hitmonlee is weakened, this thing's already weakened enough. Once Hitmonlee is weakened, Choice Scarf Hydreigon just cleans up with Dark Pulse. Infernape's looking pretty strong as well. I do have the Fake Out, which after rocks will knock out Mega Beedrill, and if I can get rid of the Slowking, Infernape will just win this match for me. But yeah, I'm just going to be able to Wish Protect here, Wish Protect, Wish Protect. My opponent's going to die to Life Orb eventually. On this turn I protected, which is really important, because had I been able to get a Protect there and got my Wish fully, I would have been able to Wish on the following turn, and as he clicked Waterfall and brought me down, to such and such HP, I would have been able to get my HP back and him die on the same turn, basically, which would have been cool. I mean, he would have died as I wished, and then I could protect the following turn, meaning I could get my Wish back, and his Pokemon would have fainted. So it would have been the perfect turn. Slowking is a phenomenal check to my Infernape. I could have been a Bloom Doom set, but I'm not, so a bit unfortunate there. It would have been much better than Fake Out in this match, I do believe. So my opponent sacks off Beedrill as I actually get up a sub with Zapdos, revealing that my Zapdos is the GOAT. He goes for Fake Out as I just discharge right here. It's going to be a 2-hit KO. And Fake Out didn't break my sub. I'm not sure why he went for that to begin with, as he lived 1 hit and could have potentially broken my sub. So here he goes into his Slowking, and I'm just going to fire off another discharge, and it's going to be an easy 2-hit KO. And going to be pretty comfortable here, finishing off the season with a nice 4-0 victory. And defeating the Jersey Weaviles, coached by Cloud. So yeah, good game to you, man. Really nice Magneton set. I'm not sure about the Life Orb on Sharpedo when I have a Clefable and a Hydreigon, as well as a Mach Punch and Burnape. I'm not sure what Garchomp was, but if you watch this, dude, leave your Garchomp set down below, please. I didn't get to see anything from it, and I'm just curious about your prep, really. Yeah, but the Ultimate Pokemon Conference Season 6 Majors is ending after only 8 weeks. We're going into playoffs now, and we are now 6-2 with a +8 differential, meaning we clinched the number 2 seed overall 100%, and we'll be in a decent position for playoffs. We'll maybe potentially get a first-round bye. I'm not sure how playoffs work for this league yet, and I think there's going to be some weird rules added in since it's going to be a season that was cut short and whatnot. We're trying to rush the season, get a champion, and prepare for the future seasons of the Ultimate Pokemon Conference. But yeah, just let me know what you thought about the prep on my side and on my opponent's side. Let me know what you thought about the battles, the plays, the double switches, predictions, etc. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.